welcome to another edition of Judgment Day, where we read Reddit posts. It's me, Matt Rebar, and joining me are Raina and Logan. And it's been a little bit of a minute since I've seen you two, so it's so good to see your faces once again.
It's so nice to see you guys. I've missed you so much. This is like so nice to just, it's like the first day of class again. You're coming back and hanging with your best friends.
Yeah, we're gonna gossip about who we have for class and like who we're gonna sit
with at lunch.
Well, this season we're looking at this miniseries. We're looking at Am I the Asshole thread. So we're gonna see who is the asshole today. So here is the title: Am I the asshole for making my wife's aunt cry on her birthday? Ooh.
Oh no.
From the title alone, that is a little suspicious. So,
doesn't everybody cry on their birthday?
At a certain age, it's like after 28, you're probably like, heading to 30. Okay, so my wife and I had been invited to my wife's aunt's birthday party. Just a little context: in our culture, it's acceptable for elderly members of the family to speak their minds and that they are elders and we should respect them. Let me say, if there is the biggest crock of BS, it's that just because someone is old, they deserve respect. Absolutely not. Respect is given and taketh away. I don't care if you're 2 months old, 2 years old, 20, or 72. If you are being disrespectful, if you are being rude, you'll be called on your behavior as such. Well, I guess 2 years is different, but.
Is you talking now, or is this the pose? Because if this is you.
That was a me rant. I just hate when someone's like, I'm 70 and I'm allowed to hate people and I'm allowed to hate the gays. Like, no.
Yeah, but if that's 70, like their culture, you know.
But like, screw the culture.
Oh, yeah. Screw everybody, huh?
This is coming from like the sociologist. I love culture, but like cultures that like are like, yeah, let old people say whatever they want, even if it's like prejudiced or insulting, or like cultures where it's like women should be in the kitchen. Like, no, we're not having it. No.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think they just mean more like if your grandma walks in, she's like, you've been gaining a little bit of weight. You shouldn't say anything back to her, I guess.
See, and I'd be like, Grandma, so are you.
Grandma getting a little thick in thighs.
But then again, my grandma is like the best grandma. Like, she would never be like, Matt, you're fat, like.
Yeah.
But I know there's some toxic grandparents out there. Stop it.
All right, let's hear this.
Yeah,
why'd you cry on
this is toxic aunts too. Yeah, that's like a big. I get really upset with that. Anywho, my wife had just given birth to our 1-month-old daughter. My wife's very conscious of how she looks post-pregnancy. I keep telling her she looks great, and it takes time to get back in shape after giving birth. 1 month, yeah, 1 month.
Yeah, she just popped that thing out. It's not like it's been a year, But even then,
is not a lot of time. I mean, you're still dealing with like a new parent or new child. So we arrived at the party and we went to greet my wife's aunt and give her a gift. The first thing the aunt said was, "Oh my, how much weight did you gain?" She said it loudly enough for other relatives to turn and look at my wife. I could tell my wife was hurt, but managed to smile and change the topic. Fast forward to dinner, my wife's aunt keeps pointing out my wife's weight and says, "You need to watch what you're eating. You should just really eat salad." What made me angry is when my wife's aunt said, wife's name, "Looks like the roast pig on the table. The only thing missing is the apple." Which is terrible.
My God.
This is a family that loves to outdo each other. That is clear. Yeah. And that is like definitely a family complex when it comes to insults and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, anywho, the poster says, "It broke my heart to see my wife humiliated and seeing how the relatives tolerate and laugh at the, quote, joke. I told my wife's aunt, quote, you shouldn't be body shaming anyone, especially your own blood. My wife just gave birth and is still recovering. You really wouldn't know how it is because you never had children of your own."
Oh, got her ass. Damn.
My wife's aunt is 54. She's single, no kids. This made the aunt cry and leave the table. We were kicked out of the party by my mother-in-law and her siblings. They all think I'm the asshole for breaking my wife's aunt's heart on her birthday. Now, this is why I think I might be the asshole. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew that my wife's aunt had a miscarriage in her 30s and her partner left her after she lost her baby. I never meant to hurt her like that. I just got fed up of her fat shaming my wife. I felt really bad about what happened. The following day, we went to her house to apologize. My wife thanked me for standing up to her, but also felt bad for her aunt. Everyone on my wife's side of the family still thinks I'm the asshole.
Oh no,
I know that last two sentences really kind of shakes it up a little bit, doesn't it?
Throughout the whole story, I'm like, yeah, get her. She deserves it. Now I'm like, oh, no. Oh my God.
Go ahead, Raina. No, Raina,
I was going to say, she's 54. Okay, she's been around the block. She's had lots of arguments, I'm sure. You know, obviously she's, at least in this situation, she's definitely an aggressor. So, I mean, if you're going to dish it kind of thing, but go on, Matt. We need more context.
I think for me, this is like the intent. Like, did he intend to say that knowing full well, like, oh, this will really mess with her because, you know, she had a miscarriage, her partner left her because of that? Or is this kind of just like on the fly, like she just had a baby, you wouldn't know anything about that, which to a degree is kind of true, you know, in a sad way. You know, she had the miscarriage, but she never gave birth. She never had a young child, right? And that priority, a young child and not getting sleep, not getting, you know, not eating healthily, perhaps. So that to me
did he do it with the intent of being like, I want to hurt you because like the miscarriage situation, not because, you know, just because you're being mean, I'm going to be mean back. Or was it? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm still shaken up.
Yeah. I mean, that's to me, if it's the intent that like, I know this will hurt her, I'm really going for the kill. That to me, that is kind of assholey. But the comment she made, it's like, it's one thing to be like, you know, like we said earlier, like to be the grandma who's like, you've gained weight. Okay. That's like one level. But to say that the wife looks like a roast pig without the apple on the table, that is awful. I mean, that is straight out of like Disney villain school. You know what I mean?
Not even that's not even like the first comment she made. That was like multiple comments that led up to that at the table with all of the rest of the family. It's not like, you know, pull her aside and be like, hey, like you're looking a little chunky. No, just in front of everybody. That is messed up.
And it's not even like, okay, it's been like 3 years and she's coming to you saying, I don't know how to lose this weight.
Exactly.
Like that's a different conversation for you to then put your 2 cents in. She's putting her 2 cents in a piggy bank that did not ask for that money.
1 month. Like she's still trying to adjust to the schedule and having a new person in her house to take care of and keep alive. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay. So should we put in our final verdicts? Anything else to say on the matter?
I just keep thinking, how close are these people to the aunt? You know, because if these things are coming from a total stranger, you know what I mean? I have relatives that I'm not close to. So they're basically strangers to me. That's fair game. If it's, you know, my best friend in the family, that would honestly hurt more. And like coming to the defense of my partner, you know what I mean? It's like, I have to say something because I'm not going to let this person that supposedly cares so much about my wife talk to my wife that way. You know, the boundaries of that type of thing.
And the fact that no one else in the family stopped her, stood up for the wife, and then everyone was immediately mad at the husband after he said one comment. What about all the other comments that the aunt was making? They just didn't care. Yeah.
I hate when like there's like a member of the family or the friend group who's just excused for everything. Like that's just the way they are. Or like, well, you know, because they had to experience trauma, that's how they've dealt with their trauma for years, is by insulting other people. It's like, no, that's not acceptable. Like, like no one is saying, hey, what you went through, you know, isn't valid. Like that wife having the miscarriage and her husband or partner leaving them because of the miscarriage, that is terrible. That is traumatic. I can see how that can really mess over someone. But that is you get no right to insult other people. But that's not a get out of jail pass card. It really isn't. So
do you think she was insulting the wife because she just had a baby and she was feeling that kind of jealousy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a pretty valid statement. We don't really have too much context to know, is this a trend? Is this a behavior? Is the aunt always criticizing? But like, yeah, I mean, if it seems like a big chunk of her trauma that she has is this aunt, it's the miscarriage and the partner leaving. So yeah, anything baby related, I mean, I could see how that might set her off. But again, you know,
no excuse.
No excuse. So do we have a judgments? Logan, Raina, what do we think?
I say not the asshole.
Okay.
I think if you're gonna, at 54 years old in an adult conversation, if you're gonna take a low, like a low blow, if you're gonna hurt somebody like that, full license to dish it back, especially when no one is coming to, what it seems like is no one was coming to the defense of the wife. Somebody has got to break that cycle, if it is a cycle. And in that moment, even, elevated, you're ugly. You're not just ugly. You're not just ugly. You look like the pig on the table. Somebody had to break that. And it was good that he did. Hurt feelings, cultural, I don't know. But, like, you just can't, at a certain point, that has to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go not the asshole. I definitely think if he would have added on, like, because you've never had a baby, because you've had a miscarriage, then I definitely feel like the intent is stronger. But I just think he was trying to defend his wife. Like, hey, you don't really know what she's going through, not trying to be malicious, but just standing up for his wife, which good for him.
I wish we knew the relationship. If he's like, I hate this woman, or like, I've never seen her before, that's relevant too. But
I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to go not the asshole, because I do think it comes down to the intent. And I don't think it sounds like he intended. It sounds like a statement made out of like anger and reaction. Yeah. So to me, I'm hoping that the intent wasn't to pick out her trauma. And the thread agrees with us, not the asshole. The fourth top rated comment actually says, everyone sucks here. You did a good job of defending your wife. The part about body shaming and respect for your wife is great, but that snarky remark at the end makes you kind of, you're an asshole as well. Poking someone's trauma isn't cute, but the end does sound like a piece of work. There is a little info and a little afterlude if we want to hear that.
Yes, these are my favorites. I love when they update us.
No, right. I do love a little update myself. So this aunt is considered the elder because the parents have passed. So she's like, I guess, the matriarch. Okay. Well, my wife grew up with the big extended family. I only grew up with my mom. She passed away, blah, 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 blah. The aunt-in-law never apologized to my wife and just pretty much told us to get used to jokes like these, as it's how the family interacts. The part where my wife said that the aunt-in-law can be a big part of our daughter's life, I told her I didn't think it was a good idea. And she apologized for saying it without asking me first. We both agreed to talk to my in-laws to set them straight. My wife and I will be relocating to a big city 6 hours away from our province 3 months from now because of work. And if they don't apologize, they will not be part of our daughter's life. I feel bad for doing this, as my wife is quite close to her family, but we both feel like we have to protect our child from our toxic relatives. And interestingly enough, I don't know why he says this, and yes, we are Filipinos. So I guess some people in the comment section want to know more about the culture, but so yeah, it looks like they're moving, and they're like, if you don't apologize, you won't be a part of our kid's life. They don't want that toxic behavior. And hey, you got to shield your kid from the toxics. Am I right? So,
I mean, I totally get that. I mean, especially the aunt isn't sorry about referring to her as a pig, like a roast pig, whatever. I get a family that like jokes around and, has those sometimes not hurtful, but like the haha kind of not funny jokes. But, there is a line. And especially when they say, hey, we were offended, or hey, that really did hurt. You can't just be like, well, get over it. It just, there's got to be a certain point where you recognize and respect other people in your family. It's not just like it's random strangers that you're making fun of, that you're like, oh, sorry, I just, if they say it hurts, then you probably should take that and go, oh, okay, sorry about that. So
this is clearly a family that escalates issues. So I must say, it definitely needs to apologize. That's just, a decent thing to do. You can still say, I acknowledge that this did hurt your feelings. However, I'm kind of a tough love, and, you can expect me to maybe say things, whatever, but, and I don't, don't blame them either. I don't blame the husband and wife for wanting to remove some of that negativity and influence, from their daughter's life. I hope they didn't move 6 hours strictly to get away from this woman, because that just gives the aunt like so much more power in a sense too. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving a lot of power to this woman who has hurt you, even though you're making the decision. It's kind of like, I've held grudges personally with family, and it's really difficult when you harbor that negative feeling and you give them that power, and they don't even know it. They don't even care. They don't, and that sucks, because you contain those feelings, and it's very, it hurts, it's that weight that you hold on to, but it is giving the other person a lot of power in a sense internally, and that's difficult. But I hope that their daughter lives a happy life. They're setting her up for a good future.
And I think 6 hours isn't too terrible, that like maybe they'll see the family like once a year. So hopefully that will lessen things, and they can say at a certain point, like, hey, if mean, strong comments start coming like that to our daughter, we don't have to see you at all, ever, Yeah. So.
And as someone who's dealt lightly with toxic people, man, as soon as you cut them out and just move on with your life and you don't think about it, I mean, it's easy as
breath of fresh air.
Oh my! It's like 3 fresh airs, 3 breaths at the same time. It's like one of those Febreze commercials where they're blindfolded. You're like, you're in a garbage heap.
Oh God!
Well, that's
hard for them.
Oh, sorry, ladies. We all said at the same time. Jinx.
Brina, can you go first?
I was going to say, what's everybody's favorite soothing smell?
Ooh.
I'm curious.
I think mine, like a Febreze smell specifically, or like any smell?
Whatever, however you interpret that.
I think mine's like a warm vanilla type of like coffee, cake, kind of sweet, something like that.
Apple cinnamon, I think.
Really? Mine is... I love always the fresh laundry scents.
Oh, really?
I love those. Where the image on those bottles is always like clothes on a clothesline.
Yeah. And you're like, they love that.
Oh my God, I love doing laundry for that reason.
Alrighty.
Have you ever bought a candle?
What?
Sorry, we're just chit chatting now. Have you ever bought a candle that's like the fresh laundry smell?
Definitely.
Yeah, amazing.
For our new candle podcast.
We can close this up. I'm so sorry. I missed you guys.
I know. No. It's funny. I think it was a good question right now. All right. Well, that was another edition of Judgment Day. We'll see you next time to judge some more Reddit posts. Until then, au revoir.
Bye.
Judgment Day is a podcast by Starbolt Studios. Judgment Day is executively produced by Matt Rebar, Logan Molnar, and Raina Budel. For more awesome content, just go to starboltstudios.com or on their Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter page.